Hello, welcome back. Hopefully previous to watching this video you have watched the demonstration video on clearing the fraction, so you know which way you would like to or prefer to solve these complex fractions. Begin by watching this video if you prefer clearing the fraction method. Begin watching the keep change flip video if you do not prefer clearing the fraction. Either way, I suggest you watch both and kind of see which way you actually prefer to use, and then maybe you can pick up some ways of solving it a lot easier. Alright, clearing the fraction using complex fractions involves your ability to recognize the fractions in both the numerator and the denominator. So notice that there is 1/3 in the numerator and 3 over x in the denominator. What we're going to do is we're going to take the common denominator from those fractions and we're going to place it on the top of each fraction. So we'll put a 3x there and a 3x there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to cancel the fraction from the numerator and the fraction from the denominator, leaving a normal fraction rather than a complex one. So that means that the 3 is going to cancel with the 3. What's left, the x, multiplies by what's there. X times 1 is x. What cancels in the denominator is the x, and what's left is 3 times 3, which is 9. The solution to this complex fraction is x over 9. Alright, now this is where it gets tricky, so you got to pay attention. There's two fractions in the numerator and one fraction in the denominator. Notice that, keeping with the same thing we've been saying before, is that it's one of everything. The common denominator is going to be 2x. So I'm going to write it on this fraction and this fraction in the numerator. And then of course, since there's only one fraction in the denominator, I'll write it there. Okay, so now I'm going to cancel the x's from the first fraction, leaving me 6 plus. I'm going to cancel the 2's in the second fraction, leaving me x times x, x squared. In the denominator, the x's cancel. I'm going to go ahead and distribute this throughout, and I get 2x minus 2. I'm going to look for ways to simplify this. I could factor that 2 back out, but it really doesn't matter because this is not factorable anymore, so that is the simplified form of that particular fraction. Alright, let's practice some more. Again, we're back to two fractions. There's one fraction here and one fraction here, okay? But the issue now is that this is factorable, so we've got to factor that out. Remember, that's the difference of squares. Okay, so to help you see it more clearly, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it. X plus 1 over x plus 1, x minus 1, and then that's all over this, which remains unchanged, x minus 1. Okay? So then clearing the fraction means I've got to write the common denominator in the top and the bottom. So the common denominator is x plus 1, x minus 1. So I'll go ahead and write that across the top. And then again on the bottom. Alright, the entire denominator cancels in the top, leaving me x plus 1 only. And then just the x minus 1 cancels on the bottom. So that's going to be x times x plus 1. Now I have identical quantities, so I'll go ahead and cancel that out. And that leaves me 1 over x. Alright? Number 4, I want you to practice on your own. So go ahead and pause the video, and then once you believe you have the answer, go ahead and pick it up again and start playing and see if you have exactly the same as me. Alright, so pause the video now. Alright, hopefully you've taken the time to do this on your own. Try to practice it. So notice I have 1, 2, 3, 4 fractions. I've got a whole bunch of x's and y's, alright? But you'll notice that I have a y squared as my biggest degree of y's and my x squared as my biggest degree of x's. That means that my common denominator that I'm going to use is x squared y squared. Remember, you're going to write it for each of the 4 fractions that are currently in this fraction. And then I'm going to start canceling them out one at a time. Now the nice thing about it is they're all over 1, so whatever's left I just rewrite again. So xy is going to cancel out these, and my first value is going to be xy minus. The y squared will cancel here, and that's going to leave me x squared only. The y is going to reduce this 2 to a 1, and then the x squared will be completely canceled out. And then the x is going to reduce down to 1x, and then the y squared is going to completely cancel out. Now you look across the top and you can see a GCF there. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out. That's going to be x times y minus x divided by the quantity y minus x. Now I've got identical quantities, so those two cancel out, and what's left is my answer, x. Alright, now we've taken some time to practice the clearing the fraction method. Alright, these last 3 problems are going to be for you to solve. Number 6 is definitely the trickiest one. Okay, I'm just going to give you a hint on that. If I were going to rewrite x to the negative 1 power, that means I'm going to move it downstairs. Now we would think originally that it would just move down here to this, but that's not the case. X to the negative 1 power is 1 over x. Likewise, you can write the rest there. So I'll give you that hint and let you go on that. Please take the time to practice the clearing the fraction method. If you are uncomfortable with it, then go ahead and watch the keep, change, flip video as well and see which way you prefer to solve these particular problems. Either way, come up with a very good strategy for doing it, because you are going to have to solve these compound fractions moving forward from here.